steerable car.
Hi everyone, today we're going to build a steerable car. That's right, a car that you can steer using the buttons on your hub. We're going to make it steer left and right. Do you reckon you can? I reckon you can. Here's some rules and tips on how to make a car that you can steer. When it comes to making a steerable car, it's important to use this block here that talks about the shortest path. This will move the motor to the same position every time the program starts. And when you connect your robot, it's important that you work out where the motor is starting from, because you want to put the wheels in the ideal position at the start. And you can see by looking at mine, my motor that I've plugged into B currently has a position at 265 degrees. So if I put mine in the starting position, you can see it's on 270 degrees here. I can look at it this way too. You can see the 270 degrees there. So yours might be different depending on how you built your robot. It might say 0 degrees, it might say 90 degrees, it might even say 180 degrees. It depends how you built it. But mine says 270 when it's in the ultimate starting position. So when the program starts, at the start, I always want my steering motor to be at 270 degrees. And every time the program starts, it's going to put it in that exact position. Now, I can put that to the side, and I'm going to grab a different type of block from events here. It's going to be when the left button is pressed, this one, because when the left button is pressed to my hub, I'm going to get my robot to turn to the left. I'm thinking it's good to set the speed over here because the speed can stay consistent the whole time. So we might go set speed to about 40% for this motor. That's how fast it's going to steer. It's not how fast the robot's going, it's how fast it's going to steer. And then when the button is pressed, we're going to get the motor to turn about 25 degrees to the left. Now, if it turns the wrong way, you just have to change that arrow. And then we're going to wait about a second, and then we're going to duplicate this and turn it back to the right. Okay. And then after it turns back to the right, we're just going to make sure it's in the perfect starting position. So I might just duplicate this and get the motor to go back in the perfect starting position. And that's all I really need to do for a left turn. It's going to turn left, wait a second, then turn back to its starting position. And then what we can do is we can duplicate that. And we can say when the right button's pressed, we want it to do the opposite. And that should be about it. That should get the robot to steer, but it's not going to make it move. We haven't touched the movement motors yet. So we might grab another stack and say we need to set the movement motors to whatever we plugged them in. On mine, I've plugged mine into C and D. You can see the movement motors are plugged into C and D. And we might just get it to go forwards like 99 rotations. So whenever you press play, it's going to run all the stacks. It'll run this stack, this stack, this stack, this stack, all at the same time. And it will go for about 99 rotations. Now you can change that to whatever you like. You could even change it to a number of seconds or centimeters, whatever you like. You might find it steers too much or not enough. You could change that number there if you wanted to make it steer more or less. And if it steers the wrong way, just make all these arrows the opposite and it should be fine. It's time to pause the video now. I might just make some room for the rules. Okay, I'm going to put the rules down here. Teacher can watch the teacher instructions, or the class can pause this video now so you can see this on the screen the whole time if you need to tweak your code or fix your code. The teacher instructions are very straightforward for this lesson because there isn't much to set up once the kids have all got all their Spike Prime equipment. You might decide to build some sort of obstacle course on the ground using masking tape, just a very simple maze, putting down one piece at a time. It doesn't have to be too complicated. In fact, the more simple probably the better, because the kids are going to steer their robot around this maze using the left and right buttons. And you could say, okay, if you're going to steer around here, you're not allowed to touch the tape at all with your car's wheels. If you touch the tape, then you're disqualified. But you'd have a start line and a finish line, and which is the same thing. And then you might time it to see who can get round the track the quickest. So you just put some masking tape on the floor, and you've probably got a pretty good racetrack that you can use using the buttons to get around. In all my lessons, if you scroll down to the description, you can see there are some spreadsheets you can use to score in your classroom. So for this particular activity, you might choose quickest time, and you can record the names of all the members and their best time. So there's option to enter 2 or even individual scores, and it will rank them in order of who got the best time, maybe to go around the maze or something like that. Also in the description there are some student assessment sheets the kids can tick boxes and write about their experience using the Spike Prime in that lesson. So it's a pretty awesome way to assess kids or even just get them to reflect about what they're doing. And there's also a comprehensive lesson plan and curriculum guide down here. You might find some really useful tools if you check out the description of all my lessons. If you enjoy my videos, why not give me a small donation by pressing the thanks button at the bottom of every video. You can tap thanks and give me a donation, or you could even become a member by joining my channel and become an official Robot Man fan, just like these guys. I've also got some videos that you might like to see, some other lessons and a playlist of all my Spike Prime tricks. Check them out.